Welcome to Donai Radio and Television Station. Here today news report. Vietnam assumed the chairmanship of ASEAN in 2020 in the context of complicated regional and global incidents. However, with endeavor, flexibility and responsibility, Vietnam has successfully completed the role of ASEAN coordination, meeting the expectation of member countries. Since the beginning of this year, Vietnam has cooperated with other ASEAN member countries to promote cooperation under the theme of cohesion and proactive adaptation in order to promote the community building process and ASEAN role in an ever-changing world. The sudden outbreak and unprecedented consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic have shown that the above theme and model is completely suitable with the situation that the region is experiencing. Mr. Ibnu Hadi, the ambassador of Indonesia to Vietnam, said, "The theme of cohesion and proactive adaptation that Vietnam has brought up in its chairmanship year has been shown strongly and clearly in maintaining the momentum of cooperation and community building, at the same time in leading ASEAN to effectively respond to the COVID-19 pandemic." As the chairman of 2020 ASEAN, Vietnam has announced many major initiatives and documents that receive approval from member countries and become the joint initiatives of the association, such as the declaration of ASEAN Chairman on ASEAN Joint Response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the establishment of ASEAN Response Fund, and the building of the post-pandemic General Recovery Plan. On November 12, approved by the majority of delegates, the National Assembly of Vietnam passed one resolution ratifying the three cabinet members for the term 2016-2020 and one resolution appointing three judges of the People's Supreme Court. With 444 delegates approved out of totally 445 delegates participating in the vote, equivalent to 92.12%, the National Assembly passed a resolution on approving three new members of the cabinet, namely Mr. Huỳnh Thanh Đạt, Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Long, Minister of Health, and Ms. Nguyễn Thị Hồng, Governor of the State Bank of Vietnam. In addition, with 441 delegates approved out of totally 446 delegates participating in the vote, equivalent to 91.49%, the National Assembly decided to approve the proposed resolution of the Chief Justice of the People's Supreme Court on appointing three judges of the People's Supreme Court for Mr. Trần Hồng Hà, Phạm Quốc Hùng, and Ngô Hồng Phúc. On November 12, delegates of National Assembly of Vietnam also pressed the button to pass a resolution on the state budget for 2021 with 92.5% of the votes in favor. Accordingly, the estimated total budget revenue is 1.3 million billion dong. Budget expenditure is 1.68 million billion dong. At the same time, the total budget loan was approved at 608.5 trillion dong. The government strives to increase revenues and thoroughly save expenditure in order to reduce state budget deficit, mobilize loans to compensate for overspending on schedule. At the same time, the resolution does not change the basic salary, pension, social insurance allowance, monthly allowance, and preferential allowance for people with meritorious services to the revolution in order to save resources to prevent and control the COVID-19 pandemic, recover the consequences of natural disasters, and implement social security. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on November 12 that all parties in the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict would benefit if they respected the Moscow-mediated ceasefire agreement. Foreign Minister Lavrov said, "I'm sure that if we do everything that we have agreed on, and if I do not detect any signs that someone is trying to break these agreements, then all of us will get the benefits." According to Mr. Lavrov, the decision to clear all barriers of economic connections, communication and transportation will be vital to the revival of Nagorno-Karabakh and the restoration of Armenian economy, which was affected the most. Mr. Lavrov stressed that the peacekeeping mission deployed in the region will also help restore the cultural heritage of both Armenia and Azerbaijan. On November 13, Prime Minister Suga Yoshihide affirmed that Japan is not in a position to once again declare a state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking to the press, Mr. Suga said that the initiative to promote domestic tourism with subsidy from the Japanese government wouldn't need to change as well. The question of whether to issue a national emergency statement once again comes as the number of new COVID-19 cases in Japan has reached a record since the start of the pandemic with 1,634 cases yesterday. Japanese experts believe the main reason to be that people who are infected from workplaces, restaurants, and public places then infect the whole family and fear that the number of infections will increase sharply in the next weeks. That's all the news. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.